How's it going, guys? It's Friday, September 23rd, and I'll be bringing you this week's saltwater video. Let's get it started. Starting out this week's saltwater video, we have the absolutely stunning candy hogfish. These guys are a small, peaceful, reef-safe species that are just absolutely stunning. They have these beautiful, bright, fluorescent yellows with this nice, almost like reddish pink throughout the body, giving them their name, the candy hogfish. A great addition for anybody who likes some of the smaller, more pretty species, but a fish that can also definitely hold its own in a nice, large, beautiful reef tank. I absolutely love them. Next up this week, for any of those you looking for a nice algae-eating species, we have the starry blenny. These guys are related to the Solaris algae blenny that most people tend to know, but they're very, very peaceful, easygoing, and they just have this absolutely beautiful face. Definitely a wonderful species to have around, and great for algae control. Another absolutely stunningly beautiful fish that we have in right now is this nice, smaller sized blue-faced angel. This guy is just an absolute stunner, eating extremely well, active, happy, and as wonderful as can be. Extremely well colored up and just all around an amazing fish. Absolutely beautiful. I love the blue trim around those fins. Definitely a showstopper fish. Moving on over to our invertebrate system over here, we have a super interesting fish for you guys today. These guys are the dragon pipefish. Now, unlike many pipefish species, these do not often free swim out in the open, whereas more than likely they actually move a lot like a snake across the bottom. Super cool. What an interesting oddball fish, and just an absolutely interestingly beautiful creature. Look at those little eyes go. And it's so weird to see it uncrawl like that, but it's absolutely awesome to watch. Staying over in that same system, we have here the absolutely adorable blue line pipefish. These guys are one of the smallest species of pipefish out there, so for those of you who love your nano systems, these are a great look for you. They don't get too big, not much bigger than this, and they're just fun and interesting as any other pipefish. They love to swim around, always searching for food. Definitely a fun and interesting little critter. Alright, next up, staying here in the invert system, we have these absolutely amazing bumblebee snails. These guys are a multi-purpose beneficial species that tend to live in your substrate and stir the sand up, keep detritus clean, and keep your substrate well aerated. But on top of that, they're also a known predator of the pest vermitid snails, which will oftentimes harm corals. So it's great to have these guys around, especially to protect a lot of your valuable corals from those pest snails. And I mean, they're just adorable. Look at them. How cute are those? Next up, we have this absolutely beautiful male blue throat trigger. This guy is definitely starting to get those absolutely nice male colorations in. His tail has that beautiful yellow stripe, and his jaw is getting that nice, beautiful neon blue. These guys are actually also one of the most peaceful of all the trigger species. So for those of you who want triggers but just don't really want to put a big aggressive fish in your tank, these blue throat triggers are a great alternative. And an absolutely beautiful species of trigger. And next up, for those of you who love your predator fish, we have this absolutely big, beautiful Volton lionfish. These are just a nice, deep red, pretty species. They're very sessile, generally easy to keep, and not at all difficult to feed. Just an absolutely stunningly beautiful addition to any predator system. And next up for this week, we have one of my absolute favorite fish in all of saltwater. We have the Hell Freaks firefish. These absolutely crazy neon little dudes are small, fun, and peaceful species to keep, and their colors are insane. I wish the cameras could capture just how fluorescent and pearlescent these little dudes are. They're just an absolute joy to keep, and just a truly stunning fish. A great way to bring a load of color to any system. I absolutely love them. Next up, we have these absolutely beautiful and gregarious 2-bar rabbitfish. These guys are absolutely great at controlling a lot of things like algae, and in general, just a wonderful, beautiful, and extremely peaceful fish to have around. These guys are super personable, love to always approach, and are ready to eat just about any time. And they're just a wonderful and beautiful fish in general. Not to mention, absolutely great for algae control. In general, just an amazing species. Amidst all of these absolutely beautiful, amazing schooling fish species, we have a definite standout here in the Catherine's fairy wrasse. This is just a beautiful fairy wrasse species that, as they mature, exhibit tons of beautiful pinks and purples, magentas, all sorts of wonderful pastel colors. And being one of the more fairy wrasse species, they're also quite peaceful, fun, and easy to manage. It's an all-around great fish to have, especially with a lot of these beautiful schoolings. Alright, I'm going to jump back to the invert system for a second here, just to give you guys a quick little overview. We do have Mexican turbo snails, banded trochus snails, larger trochus snails, and Estrella turbo snails, available for any algae control needs, as well as an assortment of beautiful anemones, and a Watchman goby pistol shrimp pair. Super cool to see. As well as some of the beautiful blue knuckle and white claw hermit crabs. The invert system is definitely loaded up and ready for you guys. Alrighty, next up, for those of you like me who love the little guys, we have this absolutely adorable pygmy angel. These guys are one of the smallest amongst all of the angelfish species, barely getting upwards to 2 inches in length, and are just an absolute joy to have around. They have this beautiful deep blue body that fades into a nice purple and ends in a bright yellow face. Just wonderful in general to have around. And sticking in the same tank, we also have this beautiful little Panamanic barnacle bunny. These guys are another awesome little nanofish species for those of you who like keeping smaller systems. They're a fun little bottom dweller, and they especially love if you have some empty shells for them to occupy. Just a fun, interesting, and brightly colored little dude to add to your tank. And to wrap up this week's video, I'm going to rapid fire you guys a couple of super cool clownfish we have throughout the store. For starters, these absolutely beautiful spot cinctus clownfish. They have interesting, unique patterns that almost kind of remind me of like a Salvador Dali painting or a Jackson Pollock painting. Either way, they're super cool, fun, and interesting. Next up, we have an absolute favorite of mine in the hailstorm clownfish. These guys are similar to the black storm clownfish, except the black color is even further reduced into these beautiful, almost solid white fish with these nice, deep, dark black patches. Truly an absolutely beautiful clown. Next up, for those of you who favor more of the wild types, we have the beautiful, true Percula clownfish. This is an actual, real, non-hybrid Percula clownfish. An absolutely gorgeous, healthy individual, doing absolutely great. And next up, for those of you who like a little bit more color, we have the Mocha Storm clownfish. So similar to the Black Storm and the Hailstorm, where they have mostly predominantly white bodies, but unlike the Black Storm and the Hailstorm, they have a beautiful orange and mocha color throughout them as opposed to the jet blacks. Definitely still another wonderfully beautiful one. And to wrap up the rapid fire clowns, we have the namesake Black Storm clownfish. These guys are an absolutely stunning clown with a nice, almost even mixture of blacks and bright whites, with just this nice tinge of blue running throughout, which is where they get the name Black Storm clownfish. It's an absolutely stunning looking clownfish. And to end off this week's video, we have another treat for all you angel lovers in this absolutely beautiful emperor angel. A great way to wrap up the video with just an absolutely stunning fish. Alrighty guys, that does it for this week's video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment what fish you'd like to see next. And see you next week.